You
Press
have to
it.
tell me when because you always see it before
It's
I do.
on. Yep, it's streaming. Hi, everyone.
Okay, hi.
We're
Yay, we're
on.
on.
It comes right up on the corner of my thing. Then I see it. Hi.
Another
Happy
month of
March.
mystery author chat.
Can you believe it? I just said that the other day. It is the end of March. I don't know where time goes. I know it's like I'm a broken record every time we meet here and I say, can you believe it's the end of fill in the month? But
Uh, I can't believe it. It feels like yesterday we did the last one.
really, I mean, Willow, we sat and talked, boy, and that because we were on a long time. It was like an hour and a half, I think, maybe even a little bit longer, and it went so quickly. What a treat. That was such a treat talking with her. I never just sat and talked with her like that. So I enjoy these. I really do. I get a kick out of them. I look forward to doing these every month. It's like a little highlight. And right now, it's probably the most social interaction I get because I'm still working from home. I don't know how many other people are doing that, but I'm still working from
Yeah.
home because California just went into, well, where I live in California just went into the red zone or the red tier last week or the week before that. So you know, we are fighting to stay above water right now. Hopefully we'll get into orange soon. I heard there were like two of the metrics were already in where they needed to be. One more and we'll get there. So hopefully spring breakers won't knock us down again, because that's tough, man. It's tough. So many people want to get out and have fun, but
Yeah.
God.
I heard Disneyland is open or opening.
April 30th is the date.
Yeah, that's exciting, but hopefully, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it. They said you can't go on the indoor rides.
Well, and then I heard this rumor, like they're saying no screaming on the rides because you'll spread germs. I'm like, what? But it was a rumor. It was just something silly that people started, you know, like saying, oh gosh, what are they going to say next? You can't scream on the rides, but no, it's nonsense. So it's nonsense. I don't know how will they control the lines though.
I don't know.
They're already so long. So what will they do? They are not going to be able to extend them even further. Do you know what they really should do? Now, this is just, don't send me hate mail, people, but can they do it like if you're vaccinated, it would just, you can go because it would just be better. It would just be safer because then you don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah.
I don't know, because then that's discrimination. You can't do that. Like, really, you can't do that. But I don't know, because I think.
Well, it's awesome. So many people are getting their vaccines.
Yeah.
I'm on the list somehow, some way I'll get mine. I don't know when. I mean, I know I'm less important because I don't have any immune issues or anything, and I'm working from home, but I can't wait to get mine.
I know that President Biden said they were going to do away with all of the pre-qualifiers and everybody was going to be eligible for it, I believe, by May 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay, good.
That there were going to be enough doses available for everyone and enough people qualified to administer the vaccine. I mean, it's just a shot. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, I could give it. It's just a shot. It's not anything special. So I don't know what the big fuss has been about. Only certain people can administer it. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it is kind of an IM shot. That's why it hurt, why your muscle gets sore, but that's okay. I mean, most people have a sizable muscle there. Just aim and hit it. You know, I mean, you'd have to really screw up to miss.
Kelly said, woot, woot, F-bomb.
You're going to get them around here.
All right. Well, tonight we have our special guest and we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to read a bio and then we'll introduce her. So our mystery author.
Is she here? She ready?
She's ready.
Okay. We should say that. She's ready.
She's ready. Inspired. Huh?
Go.
Okay, inspired by her years working in corporate America, our mystery author loves to serve up stories woven around confident and successful women who know what they want and how to get it, both in and out of the bedroom. Her heroines are fresh, well-educated, and often find love and romance through atypical circumstances. She treats her readers to enticing slices of hot romance infused with empowerment and indulgent satisfaction. She loves the life of travel and adventure. She plans to visit even the farthest corners of the world and delight in experiencing the variety of cultures along the way. When she isn't writing or traveling, she is working on her happily ever after with her husband and children. Let's welcome our guest.
Dun, dun, dun. Connecting to audio.
Connecting.
She's so small over there. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Hi.
It's
Hi.
Sienna Snow.
Yes, no. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am really good.
There you are. Have we ever met?
At a few signings we have. Yeah. I was fangirling.
You're gorgeous. And I love this print right behind you. My eyes went right back there. Do you paint?
No, it was actually, I just found it while I was like, during the pandemic, I was home and I was like, surfing on the internet. And I was like, and then I got it. Because my daughter paints and stuff like that. And so then I was like, that's something that she could do. So I got a small version.
You can get lost in there because there's so many things, butterflies and flowers. And I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm going to focus on you though. How are you doing?
I am great.
Yeah. I love your bio. There's so many interesting things in there. So how long have you been writing?
I officially published my first book at the end of 2016, but I've always wanted to write. I just never really actually did it because when I was younger, my parents were like, no, you have to become, a doctor, a lawyer, go into business kind of thing. Yeah. And then I went that track. I went into finance, and then years later, like 20 years later, my husband was just like, I was really upset with a book that I was reading. And he was like, well, stop bitching, write a book.
Yep.
And I did.
I think so many authors that you talk to have a similar story where they say, I can do this better. Or, if you're going to complain, then do it yourself. And so that's how they end up getting into the game. So it's kind of funny. And like Meredith Wild, she even took it one step further and, didn't like her publisher. So she just started publishing books.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. You don't like the way they're doing it, just do it yourself. So I love it. How fun. So you have a husband and some kids?
Yes.
How many kiddos?
I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Nice. So you've got an exciting household.
Yeah, lots of hormones.
Oh yeah.
So many hormones.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I remember those years. We call it year 17. We can't even address the age. We just call it year 17 because that was the hardest year for my son. Like I remember, he is now he's 20, so he's such a good young man, but that year was not a good year.
My son is so much easier than my daughter. Yeah. My daughter is I love her to pieces, but she's extra.
Yeah, hormones. It's brutal. And all that drama. And my daughter's severely disabled. So she's 24, but I just never had to experience any of that drama and all that. I mean, she gets a little shitty, she does have hormones on occasion, and she gets real feisty and fiery, but she just, I don't have to deal with that typical stuff, but yeah. So the only stuff I did deal with in that realm was my son, and it just, weird stuff goes on with boys too, though. They deal with the peer pressure, and they deal with the friends being assholes and betraying them, and it goes on in the boy side of things too, just not like the girls. The girls are just evil. It's just evil.
That's what we're dealing with. It's kind of like she's having a hard time balancing the mean girl stuff. She's petite like me, and she, and we're in Texas, and so everybody's giants compared to us. So she's dealing with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I don't know. And it seems like, I don't know, from what I remember, they seem even meaner now.
I think it's because of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just no accountability. I don't know where the soapbox is coming from, because I don't know what I'm basing it on, but it just seems like, from what I'm hearing, because I don't know, you hear stuff and you're like, what? When I was a kid, my parents knew everyone in the town, and my God, if you did something out of line, somebody was going to see you and tell your parents. And you were going to catch hell. Or the person who saw you basically had your parents' permission to whoop your ass too, because your parents knew them and you were in trouble no matter who saw you. And so you just didn't act up because somebody was going to get you. And so it just was like, mind your P's and Q's. But now nobody can do anything or say anything because, oh my God, and yeah, so it just, everyone's out of control instead. It's gone the other way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm old fashioned, like probably dating myself talking like this, but that's how, I don't know, that's just how it was when I was growing up. Seriously, I remember my brother we had a car. It was, at the time, even the car was older even then. And the car would start without a key. You could just turn the ignition and it would start. So there's no push button cars back then. And so my brother used to sneak this car out all the time and drive around. And someone saw him out with that car and they told my parents. He got in so much trouble because someone saw him out there with that car. And I remember that. And he thought he was getting away with it, but no, someone saw him. They told my dad at work, oh yeah, I saw your kid out with that blue Mazda. And oh, he got in big trouble. So, yeah, there was just no getting away with anything. Even when you thought you were being clever.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
I went to school with nuns and priests.
Oh yeah, good.
I was
Good
in a
times.
Catholic school.
They weren't allowed to hit you when I was in school.
And so we couldn't get away with anything.
Yeah. No, because they had the fear of God literally in you.
Oh yeah.
You were going to hell.
Yeah.
Right. I remember being so afraid of nuns and priests because I was raised Catholic, but I didn't go to a Catholic school. And I just feared those people. I don't know. They scared me. I mean, literally just, it was frightening. It's very scary. I remember doing that confession. Oh, geez, that was terrible. It was just terrible. And like, you're a little kid and the worst thing you're confessing is, I talked back to my mom and dad. You're thinking this guy is going to rain down the fires of hell on you for, geez, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't even know what goes on in a confessional now, because I think that my sister, kids go to Catholic high school, like they've gone the whole way. And I think it's a lot different, more relaxed. The Catholic Church is on social media. And so, they have to keep up with the times because it's just dying. So I don't know. Do your kids go to a Catholic school?
No, they're in public school here in Texas. I'm in a smaller suburb of Houston. So, they're in public school and we just decided to do that instead.
Yeah.
Because I think my experience wasn't the best. And so I was like, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. So did you grow up in Texas also?
No, I grew up in Georgia. I grew up on the Georgia-Alabama border in Columbus, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved from England to Columbus, Georgia in 1981.
How about that?
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's where the wanderlust comes from. You've just kind of grown up moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like I waited, like I couldn't wait to graduate so I could leave.
So you could leave there. I was the same from Pennsylvania. I could not wait to get out of there. I just did not belong there. I knew it. And I could feel it in my blood. I didn't belong there. I don't know why, but I needed more than that. So get out as soon as I could. I did. I left right away, right after graduation, but I went in the military so I could leave.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I have an employee that is in the Woodlands.
Oh yeah.
Outside of Houston. Yeah. So it's a very nice area. We've been down there one time. His kiddo got married, and it was a lovely area.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful there. It's
Yeah.
just very green. It's very different than other parts of Houston.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of my town where I live here in Southern California. Very similar. Just everything about it. The whole vibe of it is a lot like here where I live in Temecula. So yeah, it felt like we just got picked up and moved there for, it just everything about it, even the architecture and everything, real modern, like new, newly built everything. So, and very manicured.
Oh
That was
yeah.
my impression. Very manicured.
They're called master plan
Yeah,
communities.
everything though it's like from the highways to the everything is like perfectly done. But I don't know. That's pretty much Southern California is like that until you get out further, into the desert and stuff. Then it looks a little more natural. But I don't know. So what are you working on right now, writing wise?
I am writing the second book to my Street King series. The first book comes out next week.
Oh, how exciting. On Tuesday?
Yep.
And what's that called? Oh, you have show us. Dangerous King.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Mr. Him. Look at those muscles. Holy cannoli. And what is that, Vegas in the city?
No, that's actually New York.
New York.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see the bridge there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I'm writing the second book to the series. I'm almost done. And it's crazy because it's like, when you're almost there, but then you're like, it's like you're kind of trying to get over that hump to finish it.
It's that last like 2 chapters. It's just like pulling teeth. Sometimes you're just like, I know I'm there. I know how this is ending. Why can't I?
So I decided to do something opposite. So one of my girlfriends, she suggested, she mentioned that maybe you should write the last chapter and work backwards. And so I did. And so it's working. So I'm working backwards right now. And
I've done that.
And so I've never done that before. So maybe, I'll finish this book like in the next few days.
I've done that when I'm stuck. Like I just cannot find that bridge, and I'm like, what's happening? And then it's really great sometimes, even if you're not at the end and you don't know what's missing here it could literally be a paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh geez, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
But you just had to go away from it, and get where you need to be. And then you see, oh, it was a paragraph, and I've been like stressing about it, beating myself up and going, and so you get caught up in that. And that's all you can see is that, panic and what am I doing? And it was nothing. So
I got freaked out so much that I even sent my editor. I was like, help me, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
She sends me an email back and she's like, it's actually really good.
And you're like, you always say that. You don't even know. Yeah. You don't believe him anyway.
She's like, just keep going. Fill in these spots where you left it open. And I'm like, whatever.
Don't tell me what to put there. It's what I need. You write it. Shit. Can you imagine? You write it.
Yep.
Oh my God. I know what you're saying though. I'm like, well, no, I'm not right at the end, but I'm probably, I'm in the backside of it at least, but I've got like a week and a couple days to finish and oh my God. So
yeah, I jokingly told my husband, I'm like a dog and I keep seeing squirrels. So I was like, you're the squirrel. So go away. Because every time he walks by, I'm like, squirrel, let's talk. Let's do something else.
I'm so bad. And I don't know. I was thinking about this earlier because I used to be able to really write fast, like really just go and get it done. And, I can't, like, I had to go away from writing while I dealt with some, health problems. And then I couldn't get back on. And it was taking me so long to just get through every single word. Was taking so long and I'd get distracted and I'm, people are talking to me and the damn phone.
I had something similar this past year. I had a health crisis in the middle of the pandemic. So while I was going through treatments and things like that, the medications and stuff made me have a lot of like brain fog.
Mhm.
And so when I went back into writing again, every word of this book was really hard. I had to think every
Yeah.
single word and put it together. And when I sent this book out to the ARC readers, because it's so different than my other series, it's a little heavier and it's a little grittier. And I was so scared because it's a different Sienna.
Yeah.
It's after my illness.
Yeah.
And then I was just, and then they're like, this is really good. I was like, okay, so you guys like my, heavy, slower writer, because I could just churn out a book in a month.
Yeah.
Like just poop, 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 and done.
You'll feel after next week so much better because I just had the one come out in the beginning of March. That was the first release after cancer. And so it took me a long time to just write it and get through it. And because I couldn't focus and it took so long. And I thought, oh my God, I've lost all these readers because it's been a year and nobody's going to even remember what happened. And the one right before all the treatment and disappearing was so emotional and it was just I thought like the best thing I ever wrote ever in my life, and then poof, disappear, and then this one is picking up right after it, but does anyone even remember what was going on, and so it was so good to just get that. It was like getting back on the horse, but to a degree that I don't think anyone could even understand, So it was like,
I'm really blessed that I have a small circle of writer friends, and they are so amazing. We call ourselves the Golden Brown Girls. And
it's cute.
And it's like they literally encourage me. So if I can, in an hour, if I can just, even if I get 200 words, they're cheering me.
Yeah.
Because I used to write 1,000 words or 1,100 words or 1,200 words an hour.
Right.
And now it's like I'm so slow at times, and they cheer me. So it's like every word is amazing.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing, because when I have that, it makes me feel like, okay, I can keep going, keep going.
You'll get back in there, because like right now, just now, this is now the second book since all of that. And I'm on the 12th chapter, which for me, that's not like, they're normally like 15 chapters. There's like a little bit longer chapters. I know some people write short chapters and there's 50 of them, but I go with the longer chapters and there's fewer. So it is definitely in probably the back 2/3 now of the book. So just now I'm starting to kind of hit my stride where I used to be, or coming up to it, not really where I used to be. So we do sprints too, and we usually go about 30 minutes at a time. And so I could do like in the best time, like 800 maybe words in 30 minutes. And then I was down to like 200.
Yeah.
What's happened? I can't. And then it was crap, and I would scrap it all. It just didn't make sense, or like what is this shit?
Exactly.
And mistakes everywhere and just rambling. It was just garbage rambling. And so it was hard. It's been it's been brutal, but sticking through it, and
I feel like with this book, it's my favorite hero I've ever written. And I think it's just because I'm so attached to him. It's like helped me through everything.
Yeah.
So this is like honestly my favorite hero and heroine I have ever written.
Do you think that, like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did they develop from your trials, or did you know what I mean? Like, did you help them become that, or did they help you?
While I was like last year, when I had an idea of this hero before I got sick.
Right.
And then when I was sick and I couldn't really write, I kept thinking about these characters. And then I wanted a really strong female, like someone resilient who's been through so much crap.
Right.
He is vicious. Like
Right.
she's so vicious in the sense that nobody knows how vicious she is.
Right.
And I wanted someone like that because I couldn't be that. And that's when I was like, okay, when if she's like I felt like she was what every female wants to be when, like, you know, women have to pretend that they're not vicious, they're docile, you know, like in
Right.
society. And in all actuality, she's like, you know, a knife wielding hacker. And so, you know, and she takes down big, you know, people and stuff like that. And that's what I loved about it, because I created a world and it's just so gritty, but she's so strong. And that's what I loved about it, because my character Danica, she really helped me. And it's just, so I was like, I love her. She's just so strong, and I needed
Right.
that.
Right.
Because it's like afterwards, I'm still on meds and stuff like that. So it's just like, you know, with her, it's just kind of like nice to know that I created this really powerhouse female.
Right. Right. She's like your alter ego right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then with Nick is that he loves her so much.
Right.
And it's like, I will honestly say he's got qualities of my husband, because he's dealt with so much crap for me this past year.
I know it. I know. I don't even know where these men come from.
Yeah.
Seriously, you want to, I say this too, like the people watching right now, you want to test your marriage and your husband. For me, get cancer, see what happens, because my God, that's brutal. It's really brutal on a marriage. But mine was right in there. He still is, because I treat him like dog shit some days, because this medicine I'm taking is awful. It makes me a fire breathing dragon some days, and I don't even like myself, but he puts up with it, man. It's awful. It's awful poison, but hopefully will keep that cancer out of my body. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But we got to do it. Yeah. That's why I was like, with Nick, I wanted him to be this, and I made this whole series, all the guys are Indian. So some of them, because I wanted some heroes of mine that are Indian. And so he's Afro-Trinidadian and Indian. So I kind of mix the cultures and stuff like that. And so that's why I just love this hero too, because he's so strong. But it's, you know, it's a criminal world. So it's not like, you know, they're all like nice guys.
Right. No, I don't know what it is about that we're all so like fascinated and drawn to the mafia and underground, and it just, you know, you read it, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but you know, so completely opposite of life I live in. But I don't know.
I think it's fun, you know. It's
for
escapism.
sure.
That's what we're doing, you know, like creating a little escape.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a part of it, but it is fun to read about.
Yeah.
You know, they're just killing people, and I think if I saw somebody get killed, I'd be like, ah! You know, could you imagine? It would be like, oh my gosh. No, thanks. I'm gonna take a pass on that. Oh my God.
All right, ladies, we got a lot of questions. Are you ready to answer some
questions? Yes.
Okay, how do you come up with your ideas, and are you a plotter, or do your characters speak to you? This is for both of you.
All right, Sienna, go.
I am a planster. That's what I call it. Like, so in my head, I have a plan. And then when I start writing, we just kind of go awry. So it's just like, I generally know where we're going, but I just kind of go. Nice.
You're a rebel plotter.
Yeah.
I like it. I was forever a plotter. And Angel and I always say we're organic plotters, because of course it changes as you go. You know, you can't, I have heard of people plotting to the point of having like scene and, you know, almost like scenes, you know, down, and I don't get that crazy. I have like general idea about what's going to happen in a chapter, but not, you know, kind of where it needs to start and stop, but whatever happens in between, that's fine. But this one I'm writing right now, Grand's Blaze, I'm pantsing, which I have no idea what came over me. I do not understand what, but I just went with it because that's where I was at. So I'm pantsing it and it's going really well. So, I mean, knock on wood. So I'm just going with it. And it's because like each couple in this series, Shark's Edge, gets 3 books. And this is the 3rd book. So it's wrapping up a lot of conflicts, and it's going to, deliver into the next couple. And so it's like, it's a lot of like pre-decided stuff. So, and then because it's a 15-book series, the overall arc, it has to keep going. So I know where I need to be on that too. So there's a lot of stuff in my head. It doesn't really need to be plotted on paper. So yeah, I think that's why it was a little bit more comfortable to pants this one.
How do you deal with the emotional impact of a story when you're writing it?
Cry. Cry when I have to.
Yeah, I get emotional.
Yeah.
Because I had to write a scene just the other day, and my character, she's talking about her miscarriage, and she's angry, and she's going through all her emotions. And then I stopped the scene because I had to get up. I was like, damn, I went there because I got emotional about thinking long time ago I miscarried, and so I remembered those emotions, and that was over 15 years ago. But then you're thinking, oh man. So I just got up and I had to take a breath and then came back and wrote it. You have to feel those emotions.
If you're not feeling it, your reader's not going to feel it. So you want to be in that place. Same like with a sex scene. I want to be hot and bothered because I want my readers to be, and if I don't feel that, nobody else, why am I doing it? So yeah, I want to be moved. I still want to be moved when I read it the 12th time. Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite book that you've written? This one's from Annette. I wasn't writing down who asked at first, but I'm doing it now. So sorry to the other people who asked questions. I forgot to write your name.
Well, before it was Master of Sin, this one, but now it's this one, my current release that's coming out next week, because this one is just kind of like my emotional, like it's cathartic for me writing this book. I love the characters. They're my favorite characters I've ever written. I just love them so much.
This is hard. I would say, oh God. I don't know. Grant's Heat, probably. Yeah.
Such
I think
a good one.
Blaze is going to be right up there, though. I'm really liking where it's going.
Awesome. Okay. Do you only write romance novels?
I do. And I mean, contemporary romance and romantic suspense.
Yeah. Romance is my genre.
Yep.
All right. Carrie Ann asked, do you have a special place that you write in?
I hop all over the place. So I'm in my office right now, and then I have, I'll jump into my living room or I'll sit on my patio. It just depends on where I feel the mood to write.
Yeah. I have to, it depends what's going on in my house, or where if I have a caregiver at my house for my daughter, or, if I'm taking care of her at the moment, or, so it just depends like what's going on in addition to me writing. So sometimes I have the freedom to be locked away in my room or in my office. Sometimes I'm writing standing up in my kitchen because my back hurts. Sometimes I'm, it just depends what's going on. So
Oh, we just got a good one. Nikki wants to know, Victoria, which character have you written that you identify with the most or see yourself in?
Margot, Miss Margot Asher is my girl. She was like, I wrote her. She is me, unfortunately. Now, a lot has changed about me, though, in my life. Getting cancer has changed my life, unfortunately. I mean, that's going to happen when you get that news. So when I wrote that book, that was me. But now things have changed. When I wrote that book, and probably up until a year ago, I literally never cried. I was not a crier. I always said that I was frozen over, and now I cry once a day probably about anything and everything. I just start crying all the time. But before that, no, never cried. I put a stopper in it because, of everything we went through with our daughter. I had to stop crying because I was going to just be crying all the time. And so I turned it off. Uh-oh. Speaking of turning off, I'll be right back. I just gotta get to come back on. So anyway, yeah, that's it. For me, it's Margot.
All right, Sienna, how many books to date have you published?
To date, let me count. 2, 3, 14.
14. Nice. How do you get inside your characters' heads?
Well, I think they get in my head, frankly. What it feels like.
They kind of just start talking to me. Like, I feel like they're like people in my head talking to me.
I know that sounds so weird. I always used to think that sounded weird, even as a writer. And then it starts happening and you're like, hey, what's going on? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm sane. I swear I am, but it really happens. All of a sudden you get this idea for a story, or you get like something comes through the story you're writing. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
exactly.
Can you stop me? I'll be right back. Because I have to write it down right then, or it's gone. It's gone immediately. Like 2 minutes later, I lose it. So I have to go write it down. At least like, notes about it, so I remember that will trigger that memory, because it's gone otherwise. But yeah, but I love those moments. It just happened. I was writing and it just came right around. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know. But it was like magic. It was so good. It made me so happy.
I usually dictate, I'll do a voice message to myself in my phone. Because I always have my phone on me, so I'll send a voice message and then I'll be like, and it's like rambling, but I know what I'm meaning.
Yeah. How do you do that on the phone?
Yeah, I downloaded this app that's called Voice Memo, and I literally just like record it. And I know I sound completely insane.
No, I get.
And I'm in the car and I'll just do it because usually I'm either driving to pick up my kids or
in the
waiting to pick up my kids or something like that. And that's when I get an idea and I'm like, oh, so I can't write anything, so I'll just voice it.
Yep. I have mostly notes on the backs of things. And then I have to remember where I wrote it. And I'm looking, like feverishly going through, looking at the back of every piece of paper that's laying on my desk. Like, where did I write that? On invoices and trying to find it.
It was the best 99 cents I spent. Like, I love that app.
I should look for that. Now my journal has like crazy notes everywhere on it that have nothing to do with the calendar or journal. It's like just crazy notes everywhere, but it's all right. It's working.
All right, let's get to some more. There's so many questions coming in. I'm writing them all down. Okay, Victoria, I think Amy answered this a little bit, but I want you to just answer quickly. Is there an Audible coming for Grant's Flame?
There is.
I know a lot of people are asking that to me too.
We talked about that last month. When I got sick, I was pulled out of the publishing schedule altogether because they didn't know at Waterhouse when I would be well again and when I would start writing again. So everything for Shark's Edge got pulled out of the publishing schedule, including the audio got pulled out of the audio production schedule. So now, once things are getting back into the rotation, the publishing schedule, they had to get inserted back into Audible's production schedule, including with the narrators. And because we're using Jacob Morgan and Aaron Mallon, who are like two of the busiest narrators on the planet, we have to wait to get into their schedule, their open schedule. So it's coming, but it's a byproduct of being sick. And so it's coming, but I don't want to switch up narrators in the middle of the series. I want those characters to be the same. I want the consistency. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm being stubborn. I just want that consistency. So for the sake of that, the story and that quality, I'm holding out for the timeline. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. So it'll be worth it, I swear.
Yeah, I bet everyone can't wait. All right, Sienna, are all of your books written by yourself, or do you write with anyone? Which do you prefer? From Kelly.
I've never written a book with anyone else. I do it all by myself. I've I never even, had the option of doing it with anybody else because I've never, broached the subject with someone. I've had friends that, we write together, like as sprinting and stuff like that, but never thought that we would write it together as a same story.
It's a different animal for sure. Yeah, doing it together, doing it with someone else, than doing it alone.
I also have a lot of control issues because when I was traditionally published,
yeah,
I felt it was so hard not to have control. And so that's why I like the traditional published aspect made me realize I like indie.
Yeah.
What's the most difficult part of your writing process?
I think it's finishing the book. That's the most difficult, like that coming over the hump of the ending.
Yeah.
Because you're when you first start it, you're like, and then you get to the middle and you're like, okay, I'm almost there. And then it's that end bit. You're like, you're almost there. Why don't you want to finish it?
It's just finding time. I just wish I had more time in general, just time. And then, yeah, that's it. Time. I wish I had more time.
Who is your favorite hero in your own books or someone else's? From Carrie.
For my books,
we did what's the favorite book, so not favorite hero.
So I love Nick King from this book. That's my favorite hero. But from another author, I'm a big Crossfire girl, so I'm obsessed with Gideon Cross. Like, I even have a shirt that says, I'm the other Mrs. Cross, Like my PA sent me that for Christmas because I love him so much.
I'm remembering that. That was so long ago, my God, that I read that.
But I can, like, every year I have to go through the whole series just because I don't even care about anybody else. I just want to hear that.
My favorite hero from someone else is Sean. Why can't it's Sean from Sierra. I'm having such a brain fart. Help me out, somebody, please. Sierra, help me. Amy, tell me who it is.
No, Cartwright or
no, it's Priest and Sinner and
Simone.
Sierra Simone, and it's Sean Bell.
Sean Bell. Oh yeah.
I love him. He's if I can make a book person
Father
come
Bell.
to life, it would be him. No, not Father Bell, his brother Sean.
Oh, Sean Bell. Oh yeah.
I like Sean.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's the other book, not the Priest. It's
Sinner.
Yeah, Sinner. Mm-hmm.
That's my guy. And I mean, I liked Father Bell plenty, fine, but I like Sean better. He's the one with Zenny. Yeah. And from my own books, my favorite hero is, oh shit, I don't know, maybe Drake, because he's just Drake Newland. I like him. Oh no, it's Mac. It's got to be Mac, I guess. Mac Stone.
Linda wants to know, what's your favorite cover of all of your books and why? That's a very good question.
Cover, you said cover, not color, right?
Cover.
Shit, these questions tonight.
Oh,
Oh, you're making me
I'm
think.
having to think.
No Broken Bond for me. I love that one.
I think it depends on the day. Like, because some days I like, uh, some days I like Dangerous King as my favorite, and then other days it's Master of Sin. Because I
Do
just
you have men on all of yours?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I like a hot guy.
Yeah. That's why we do this. We like the hot guys. I think no. All of mine were objects before Shark's Edge. Yeah, then now they have guys on them. But that's not, when you're with a publisher, not up to you. So, yeah, that's all right. Because they're making beautiful covers, so I'm good with it. If they were ugly covers, we might have words, but
Kelly wants to know, Victoria, which is your favorite book in the Secrets of Stone series?
My favorite book in the Secrets of Stone series is, oh shit. It's a toss-up between No Broken Bond and No Longer Lost. I mean, really, that's a tie for me. I can't between those two.
All right, another great question. Crystal wants to know, was there a character that you did not like or dreaded writing?
You're not going to believe it. I do not want hate mail. It was Claire Montgomery for me. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't hate her. It wasn't great for me. Sorry.
For me,
What about you, Sienna?
For me, I didn't enjoy writing Jacinta Camden's story as much from my book Senator, because her political views were very opposite to mine, and it was very hard for me to write a Republican. And it was just kind of, it's like, but then when I got into her character, I loved her. It was just like first when I got into her mind and got into her character, who she was and stuff like that. And then I fell in love with her. But initially I was just like, oh, I don't want to write this character. But because I created a series about three best friends who are all politically in the political world, have their different politics, I just had to write it.
Yeah. It's like, you brought this on, now deal with it.
Yeah.
I like this girl that I said that I didn't like writing. I didn't like writing her when the first two books were about her and the guy. But later, she's through now the rest of the series. When she shows up through the rest of the series, because they're like the kind of like the matriarch and patriarch then of the series, right? Because the first two books are about them. And so when they show up through the rest of the series, I love them. But those first two books, I didn't like her so much, like, because she was, I don't know, just not like you're saying, she was so not like me. I couldn't get into her so much, Plus, a lot had to do with, these were the very first books I had ever written in my life, ever. It was the first thing I'd ever written in my life. And so I think there's a lot of insecurity there with me and her. I just didn't feel confident, like I was doing her a good job. So I got more comfortable with her as the series went on, probably. Yeah, I think so. That probably has a lot to do with it.
Another great question. What's the strangest thing you have ever had to research for your books?
Oh, Jesus. Well, piranhas eating a person in a swimming pool, right?
Mine are quite dirty, so I had to I literally had to write this. I wrote about genital clamps, but I had to actually write and say, how do you actually do it correctly? And so I sat there Googling that. Like, I'm like, I actual how you do it right, how that works, what it looks like. And
I need pictures, videos,
Yes.
to have it.
I ended up going into a site that's for, you know, kink site, and they were so nice, and they were actually factual, and it was great. But it was just like, initially I was like, anybody that sees my search history, because I also ended up in a different series, ended up searching, you know, like, you know, terrorist and this and that and all this craziness, and I'm like, oh my God, somebody's gonna come to my door. You know,
We always joke about that. And then you've got, you know, a little blonde girl in your series, and you're looking for something to description. You're like, oh shit, this is so bad. This is so bad if the FBI ever takes my computer. And you've got little blonde hairstyles and you know, nipple clamps and how to kill a person in 3 moves. And you're like, shit, I'm in so much trouble right now. It's bad, so bad. But it's a good time.
All right, let's do one more question and then we'll get to our giveaways.
All right.
Okay, top 3 must reads, romance or otherwise, from Catherine. This is for both of you.
Oh shit, this changes by the week for me. Because I'm like all in. I'm like, you have got to read this book I'm reading right now.
so I love Court of Thorn and Roses series, but actually the second book.
Court of Thorn and Roses series.
Yeah, that series, but it's book 2. What is it? Court of Wings and Runes, I think. That one. It's where Reese comes into the story, but that series, I love that series. So I usually read it at least once a year. And so it's just kind of high fantasy, and I love it. And then I love The Priest. I love reading that. And then of course The Crossfire.
Yeah, I think I could recite Priest at this point. Sinner, I definitely could. I know I could. I listen to Sinner a lot while I'm going to sleep because I know the story so well, so I don't need to listen to the story. I just want to hear his voice, so I just fall asleep listening to it. But must read series?
Yes.
What's the question?
Top 3 must read series.
Series or books?
I think it says, oh no, it just says top 3 must reads, romance or otherwise.
Must reads. Top 3 must reads. Well, shit, I'm gonna say my own books. Why would I not? Why would I not? I'm gonna say Shark's Edge series. Get started. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Boom.
Perfect. That's a great answer. All right, so we're gonna do a giveaway. What are you giving away tonight, Victoria?
Whatever they want other than Book Boyfriend, because I don't have it.
All right. So Amy helped me choose winners. And what about you, Sienna? Do you have something?
Yeah,
I know
I'm
we talked about
away the copy of Dangerous King.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So
look at Mr. Muscle Man there. Look at those muscles. It's kind of crazy. Jesus. Where do you find clothing that fits you when you have muscles like that? Extra, extra, extra large.
I know, right?
Jesus. You cannot button a shirt and put a tie on.
I know, right?
Ever. No suit and tie for that guy. Who's going to tell me how to wear a tie with muscles that way? He just deck you. Oh no.
All right. Sienna's winner is Linda.
All right. Good job, Linda.
So Sienna, I will send you her information. And Victoria, your winner is Annette.
All right. Congratulations, Annette.
Yay.
Good job. Someone will send Annette the winner's doc address or something, right? So
yes.
she can get on there and we'll mail her stuff.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. I can't believe that was an hour already.
Oh yeah. Wow. That time went by.
Telling you, I can talk to anybody. I'm like that. Thank
There
you
were
for
so many
coming.
great questions.
I
This was
know it
fun.
does make it go fast when everyone interacts with us too.
This is so much fun.
I'm glad you came.
Thank you for inviting me. This was so much. This is just good.
My pleasure.
It gives me a time away from my kids too.
Right. I know. Legitimate. I'm working. Be quiet.
Yep.
Don't bother me.
Mhm.
I love that. So, well.
Oh, and
take
Sienna,
care.
I think you'll be stopping by our group, Victoria's Book
Oh,
Secrets,
yes.
next week too, right?
During this
Oh
week.
yeah, yeah. Yes, I am.
Perfect. So everyone can look out for you there.
All right. That's good. Bring stuff. They love giveaways. I'm just going to say that ahead of time. They like stuff. My people like stuff.
I will definitely do that.
Well, take care of yourself. I'm glad we got to spend some time together.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
See you next month.
Yes, ma'am.